Hello everyone, hello. It's been a while. It's been a while since I did a video on one of my ant colonies, and today we are going to talk a little bit about the Crematogaster scutellaris. So if you want to know what real pain looks like, then watch this video, because the Crematogaster scutellaris, boy oh boy, do they are little troublemakers. They are little troublemakers, and I'm going to show you that in this video. Yeah, there you can see the name. It's confirmed that they are scutellaris. But yeah, as you can see, there are now two lids on these outworlds, and they weren't there before. And why weren't they there before? Because before the lids, they didn't escape. And then they decided to escape right here. They went through the talcol. I wiped it back. That's what you're now seeing. But whoop! And out they went, and everything was covered in scutellaris. And I'm so happy that it happened during the day and not during the night. If it happened during the night, I probably wouldn't have a scutellaris right now. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. These ants, guys, yeah, if you decide to buy them, then know what you're getting yourself into. It's unreal. It's unreal. This colony is not even big. I mean, it's a large colony, but in terms of scutellaris size, it's not even that big. And yeah, as you can see in this outworld, there are a lot of ants, a lot. And this is a double XL, by the way. And it's too small for them. And here we have the drama section, right? The section that I want to tell more about. I want to tell a little bit about what's it like caring for a large ant colony. I started caring for them at 5 p.m. It's 12 August. I started to care for them 5 p.m. I started recording 1 minute ago, so yeah, it took me a half hour. And what did I do in that half hour? I filled up the cup right here, so I had to take it out, shake off all the ants, fill it up. I filled up this one. I took some of the trash out, I put a new jelly in, and I put the mealworms in. But taking out the trash brings a lot of ants with it, and I put all the ants back with tweezers. And that stuff just takes me 20 minutes. And I didn't even take out that much trash, so there's still a lot inside. But yeah, I don't have time to take all of it out. So as you can see, there are a lot of dead mealworms and a lot of carcasses that I still need to take out. But there are still ants inside of them. And when they crawl out, you need to put them back into the outworld. Now, one customer that comes in the store quite often said, well, just let the ants, just throw away the ants. And there's one on my hand right here. Yeah, after I'm done, they walk everywhere. But yeah, I don't like just killing that many ants every time I need to take care of them. So I take the time to just put them back. And I know it takes me a lot of time, but yeah, I do like my ants, and I kind of feel bad if I start killing them just because I'm too lazy to put them back. I know it's a lot of work, but yeah, I mean, they are your pets, right, after all. And this is what I put in 3 times a week. So I'm actually now writing down how much food I'm giving them on this very cool paper right here, very professional writing. But I put in 50 grams the first time. That was a little too much, so now I'm putting in 20 grams of mealworms 3 times a week. I'm gonna maybe do 4 times a week, so 4 times 20 grams. This is what 20 grams looks like. It's quite a lot. And a lot of you are probably going to comment, well, EA, that's way too much. That's way too much food. But they finished this in 12 hours. I kid you not. Tomorrow they are all carcasses. It's absolutely insane. Maybe they have a harder time because they aren't spread out. Because I was cleaning this side and I distract the ants with this. That's the hardest part about having a large colony. It's cleaning. It's cleaning. Because everything is covered in ants. You put your hands in, you're covered in ants. They swarm up your hand. It's very hard to clean it. Everything you take out, your tweezer is full of ants. The debris is full of ants. Everything is full of ants. There are usually 200-300 ants on the feeder. Look at the the jelly. It got swarmed. I just put this in right before recording. Yeah, it's crazy. These ants are absolutely crazy. And yeah, I do love them. They're one of my favorite colonies still, even with all these issues. Today they escaped again. And you wouldn't believe how. Apparently the screws came loose off the top, probably because I opened and closed the outworld so many times. But yeah, the screws slowly let loose, and there was a tiny gap, and of course they crawled out of that tiny gap. So yeah, I had a lot of escapees again today. So 2 major escapes in a very short time clearly indicates that this outworld isn't large enough. The ants need a much larger outworld than this. So what I am thinking of doing is attaching another outworld down here and just making that a strict feeding outworld that I can also clean much easier, because of course when the customers come in the store they like the view of this, but what is ugly? Well, all the feeding stuff, that is quite ugly, right? And that cactus fell down. Yeah, it's much nicer if you would look at it like this, natural, but yeah, all the feeding stuff is quite ugly. So I was thinking of putting the feeding stuff in a kind of hidden outworld and then keeping this one nice and clean, basically as a viewing outworld. That's something I want to try. The second thing I'm going to try is make a giant custom outworld. That will be very expensive. Usually custom outworld that is larger than this is 150 to 200 euro in material only. So yeah, the acrylic is quite expensive. Then I'm going to glue the entire outworld. Yeah, and then hopefully the ants will not escape, have enough space. I also need to look at making some walking space like these rocks. You can see how many ants are on them. Now imagine that there wasn't anything to crawl for them in. These ants would also be walking around. So having some decor is actually a good thing, which I can definitely recommend. Again, if you have a small outworld, it will be even harder to clean it out. But yeah, the ants like to crawl up things, and it helps give the outworld more surface area. So definitely put stuff inside the outworld as decoration. It also looks nice, so why not? So yeah, this is a pain in the ass, scutellaris, and I thought they would grow more actually, but then I realized that most of the ants are actually in the outworld, because if we look at the nest, yeah, I'm sitting down by the way because it's crazy hot at the moment. If we look at the nest, okay, it is quite full, but right, at least 2,000, 3,000 ants can still be added to this outworld. But I think if all the to the nest, but I think if we add all these ants inside the nest, then the nest would be completely cramped. But there's just so many ants outside foraging for food. I have the heat mat on full blast. It is 36 degrees outside at the moment. It is I think 26, 27 inside, and they still put all the brood on the heat mat. That's how much Cataglyphis loves their heat. Now, you probably the haters are going to be like, that's workers all over the whiting block. What a bad nest. This was the first nest that we ever made, the first XL nest. So yeah, of course there are problems with it. It also fell multiple times because children touched it and then floop, it fell over. And that's why the block has fallen back quite significantly and the ants can crawl all over it. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. They have enough space. They have not dig in the nest at all, which I did expect. But as you can see, the nest is quite deep. There is tons of brood. There is an insane amount of brood. If you would count individual eggs, I think easily 5 to 10k in eggs alone, easily. Counting ants is impossible. I really would like a best estimate in the comments down below. My estimate is between 5 and 10,000 ants. That is what I estimate. And how do I estimate that? I don't know, I just guess. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy. They are producing a lot of males. They've never produced females, which is interesting. But they are producing a lot of males. Those males really end up dying quite quickly. I've never seen them in the outworld and stuff. Here's something interesting happen. This ant was almost crawling between this crack. As you can see, they are trying. Okay, I need to keep an eye on that. That could be another potential place for them to escape, of course. So yeah, I need to check that. There's also some brood here. Also, funny thing is, as you can see, there's quite a lot of condense in this nest. However, there are no hydration pods on this first version. Yeah, I didn't add those at the start. So this is all like, well, sweat is the wrong word, but moisture that the ants lose, that the brood loses, so the ants take that moisture inside. You can see that it's actually quite humid. Now, I was thinking of putting a ventilated plug right here, but I'm 100% sure the ants will actually bite through it. So that's something I'm not going to do, and these stoppers actually work quite well. So My Ligniperda once went through them, these stoppers, so always keep an eye on those as well. And with scutellaris you're never safe. I know one person that had scutellaris in acrylic nest, and they even went through the acrylic, which absolutely insane. But as long, I learned from experience, as long as you give ants space, well, they are not going to expand it themselves. But yeah, ants are opportunists. They will always look for spaces to like go out, go behind, and just make their own nest basically. I mean, this is normal. You will see that with every ant colony. If you choose white tongue, this will happen. If you choose smash, it will happen. If the ants don't have space, the ants will make space. That's just a rule. Unless you have Lasis flavus, they won't probably do anything. But all the other ants, they will create or try to create space. Yeah. If you now look at the outworld, everything has calmed down a bit. And when things are calmed down, when I'm not doing anything, you will actually see that there are no ants at all on the glass. That happens quite a lot. All the ants are on the floor. And yeah, scutellaris is not like other species I saw from other keepers that just crawl on the walls all the time. They actually don't really do that. So that is great also to look at them. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this update video. I really enjoy this. I want to make more update videos. I'm going to try to put some out there. If you guys like it, leave a like, subscribe. Yeah, there's no really a goal with this YouTube channel. It's just what I love to do, talk about ants, talk about my colonies, and share my experiences. That's why the E82 channel is perfect. And I can also put my my hateful shorts on there. So yeah, I mean, if you enjoy this, let me know what you want to see next. We have leaf cutters now, that's something, and bull ants. So yeah, I have a lot that I want to make updates about. Also just some species that I want to talk about. And with this new phone, you can make quite some nice shots. Yeah, through the outworld. Like, I can get quite up close. I'm also looking for a new camera. And in the winter, I want to make some videos. I'm also traveling to Uganda in October. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. This guy is walking around with a mealworm hat. Nice. Yeah, guys, if you like this video, then thank you for watching. And we'll see each other in the next video. Give some suggestions in the comments.